Welcome to Paley Front Row, part of the Paley at Home series presented by Citi.
Connections. For over 200 years, they've been Citi's business. From connecting oceans and continents by helping finance the Panama Canal, to today, where we're still making our most important connections, people. We connect security and innovation, all to help drive growth. Our global scale connects businesses to over 160 markets, and today's ideas with tomorrow's opportunities. For the love of moving businesses forward, for the love of progress, Citi.
We're just so delighted to be with you and talking about America's favorite pastime, which is, of course, watching Taylor Swift. So without further ado, let us bring out our esteemed panel. First, we have Drew Esocoff. He is the director of Sunday Night Football. Drew, come on down. I told him to dab. I wanted everyone to come out Real Housewives style, but okay. Let's see who actually has the guts. Rob Hyland, the coordinating producer, the man with the headsets, and the unflappable demeanor, Rob Hyland. Melissa Stark is the sideline reporter. You know her well. She's out there getting all those interviews, hustling. Come on, Melissa. She does not wear those shoes on Sunday night. She's too smart. Mike Tirico, the play-by-play voice of Sunday Night Football, an all-around talented and wonderful human being. Mike Tirico. And finally, via remote, we have Cris Collinsworth. You'll see him in a minute. He's a little under the weather, but he couldn't miss this. We didn't want him to, so he's going to join us by Zoom. They know so much about football. I'm worried about you guys, though, because on Sunday night, the question is, what do you know about Taylor Swift? And I just want you to know that I'm here for you. And so we're just going to run through some basic trivia right now. Okay, there's a prize at the end. Fill in the blank of this sentence. It's me, hi. I'm the blank, it's me.
Problem.
Very good, very good. Okay.
Raise your hand.
Oh, sorry, did you raise it?
Something.
What is Taylor's favorite color? Rob?
Red.
So sorry. Melissa?
You would have said the same thing.
Blue.
Oh, this is depressing. Anyone else?
I would have said
Pink.
Go ahead, Drew.
Pink.
No, we're out of colors.
I'm gonna
Go
say-
ahead, Tirico.
I'm gonna save my money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save my green.
It's lavender, y'all. Lavender haze.
Oh.
And I want to welcome in Cris Collinsworth, and don't worry, your bracelet's in the mail, Cris, wherever you are. Hi.
Hi, Cris.
Hi, Cris.
Hi, Cris.
This is a 7-day-a-week gig. Mike, we'll start with you. Take us through, give us the big overview of the week, how you guys prepare, because I'm sure it starts Monday morning.
Yeah, the enjoyable time is that 1 hour after the game on Sunday night, because you can just exhale, fall asleep, and then usually I try to have the game from Sunday night rewatched by noon on Monday.
You rewatch the game?
We rewatch every game.
Why?
Rob and I will eventually start cryptically texting each other.
You mean you don't watch
10:30,
every
11:30.
Today show every morning, later in the day?
Never. I would kill myself. It would not be a pleasant experience. That's so interesting. What is the value of watching it
Ask
back?
him.
For me, it's how can we get better? You know, where did we go wrong at any point? Where did we do something really well? And how can we do it better the next time?
Okay.
So it's always about constant reevaluation of, the process and how can the process get improved.
And for me, we're executing the show. Drew's pictures, Rob directing a storyline, Melissa's reports, Chris's analysis, obviously. Sometimes I just don't know how it comes through the TV if you're sitting there. Sometimes we can bombard you with too much. So that process allows me to say, okay, I'm the viewer. Here's how it's coming through. So you imagine somebody at 10 o'clock, 10:30 on a Sunday night. We're in the middle of our work week. People are like shutting down and getting ready to restart. So just to get a sense of what it's coming through the TV like.
Yeah, Melissa, I mean, you guys are so smart. You have encyclopedic knowledge of football. Taylor Swift, not so much. But
We went 2
how
for
do you
3.
know how much is too much? I mean, you don't want to sit and give a book report.
Well, they only give me 22 seconds in between plays, so that's
Let's
all.
give her 24.
That's all the time.
Give us a snap.
So it's never. I think it's never too much from you. I'll be hitting him up the whole time. I have a little talk back to Rob, and I'll say, okay, I can add. I've got a story. And out of those 20 times I do it, maybe two times he comes. Or he'll say, the thing is, it's live television, right? So he'll say, we're coming to you after this play. But then inevitably there will be a penalty or something will happen. Or these guys drive the discussion.
Yeah.
And if they change topic, I'm sort of down there saying, oh no, yeah.
I know we're being interviewed here,
Yes.
but I have to tell a magical story of working with Savannah on the opening ceremony for the Olympics, which was an absolute dream. You heard Melissa say that she has a button where she can talk to Rob and people don't hear her on the air. When Savannah found out about the talkback button,
Oh my God, it was amazing.
it was like Christmas. She's the happiest person ever.
Our producers don't want to hear it. Okay? There is no talkback button. I'm like, you mean I can talk to the producer right now? It was amazing.
It was really cool.
It's
It was
very
fun.
special. So Rob, how do you and Drew and the whole team, how do you guys come up with storylines? Because it's a football game, but you're looking for storylines. How do you develop them? How do you plan for them? And I'm sure there are some that just come up unexpectedly, and how are you ready for them?
Yeah, I mean, you hope a football game breaks out and new storylines emerge, but yeah, you go in with a plan. As John Madden used to say, it's the greatest open book test you can take, and on any given play, you can go to a replay, you can go to a graphic, you can go to Melissa, and you prepare for those stories throughout the week, and you'll cover the main storylines, but you want to hopefully do it in a way that hasn't been done, or maybe with a little bit more thought or creativity. Our motto on this show is always try to have a make you smile moment in the show, be it connecting an athlete to their parents or family. That's always the goal of the show, and to do it better and to dig a little deeper than maybe you've seen before.
Yeah. How about you, Chris? I mean, how do you think about your role and what you want to add?
Well, I think, first of all, you have to understand that Mike and Melissa and I have put more people to sleep than Sominex over the years. So we understand full well that people are going to be fading to black on us at various points during the course of the night. But, I think my wife probably says it the best because she's not a huge football fan, and neither are my daughters. And so her question to me is, why do I care? Right? If we're watching a game and she goes, well, tell me something about somebody. Why do I care about this game? Which makes this game the most unbelievable game in the history of football, in that we are going to be talking. I am not lying, Savannah. I have spent as much time, my entirety of my study week has been with Taylor Swift playing in the background.
Oh.
And as you know how like you think you begin to know something and it's like, okay, yeah, I kind of got that down. And then the moment of that pop quiz that you started giving came up, I totally panicked, freaked out. I could not handle it. I didn't have one answer. I didn't know anything. So now I'm totally uncomfortable going into the game again.
You're going to crush it, and I am available for tutoring because I have a 9-year-old girl. Rob Hyland, your girls are Swifties. You were at the Eras Tour.
I was.
Yes,
We flew to Los Angeles.
Yes, as was I in Los Angeles. So we got your back, Chris. Don't you worry. Is anybody like, do you live under a rock? Did you know that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are apparently dating? And
What?
And did you know that Taylor is going to come to Sunday Night Football? Because God is smiling upon NBC.
That's right.
And our game is here, and Mike gets to say welcome to New York.
In New York. Welcome to New York. I mean, I feel like on the Today Show we have done every Taylor Swift lyric pun, but feel free to try
Wait
to
till
find
Sunday
new ground.
night.
Wait till Sunday night. There's more.
Our show opened.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got something good.
Okay.
And here's the good part. The something good, the idea started, you dropped off the girls at school.
Went to get a coffee.
Called me. Our house is being remodeled, so I had to go upstairs. We're living with my in-laws right now. So I had to walk upstairs from my mother-in-law's basement, and I'm standing in the garage talking to him for 10 minutes. And people just wonder, like, why are you going in the garage and talking on the phone? and we kind of cobbled together a thought, a second thought, a third thought, and we'll see you Sunday at 8.
It's being taped right as we speak.
Yeah.
In Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
there you go.
Well, we are very, very excited for that. Okay, we got to talk to Drew because Drew, you
don't
are
have to.
a legend. You've been here the
You don't have to. You can if you want.
Drew's
We
been
want
here the
you,
longest.
Drew.
Yeah.
Yes, you've been here the longest. You've directed every Sunday night football game on NBC.
I missed a couple because of I was feeling under the weather.
Yeah, like Chris. Chris looks darn healthy to me.
Yeah.
But you know what? I didn't want to drive in the city tonight either.
I've directed all but 2 of them.
Yes.
All but 2.
But Drew, I am always amazed by what you and the technical crew pull off every week. It's a traveling road show. It is incredible, from the graphics to the cameras to the audio. It's people just, they can't fathom what it is like in that control room and what you are doing. So I have nothing but, you talking ahead people, no, you're great. We love you. Producers and directors are incredibly smart and amazing professionals. So Drew, just take people inside, and Rob, you can chime in too. Like, what is it like in that truck? How many cameras do you have? What kind of technical feat? How much cable do people pull to get on?
I don't pull any.
I know.
I've never pulled a cable, but we have. You know what it is, Savannah? For me, I've been with some of these camera guys now for 35 years, and most of them for at least 20 years. And people say, you know, why do you keep doing this? Because I go out with my buddies and have a blast every weekend, and that's what it is. You know, it's hanging out with the group. We work our butts off to get ready to do this show, but we have a blast doing it. And that's what keeps you doing it. I mean, it's just, and I don't even want to begin to tell you what goes on the camera line, what I'm hearing. Oh. But for us, and only the camera people and me can hear it, it's a 3.5-hour comedy show that never stops.
I can only imagine.
And SNL's been on how long?
Yeah.
We've been on half that long.
Yeah. Well, but Rob, give people an idea, because the technical production is just incredible. And I mean, the control room is rolling around on a truck, right? I mean,
it is.
I love this stuff. I don't know if you all do, but I'm so interested in how this sausage gets made.
Yeah, there are about 200 women and men that put the show together and travel each week to the city we're in. There are 4 or 5 mobile units that get on the road the second the game ends and head to the next city. About 35 cameras, about 15 nonlinear recording playback sources that each have multiple outputs. And yeah, there's a lot to it. If you come into a control room on Sunday Night Football, you'll be overwhelmed by the colors and the pictures and the sounds. But you know, for Drew and I, it's really, you know, he's the quarterback. I'm really the head coach telling them the game plan, but he's reacting to sort of what Mike and Chris are saying and Melissa's saying, and we'll go in with a plan each drive and what we want to set up, what we want to develop, if we want to talk about a specific player or coach. And then it's up to Drew and his team to make that come to life.
So wait, if you're...
He just called me Zach Wilson.
How do you know? How do you know, Zach Wilson?
If you're the head coach and you're the quarterback, what are we, the diva receivers? Yeah.
Cheerleaders.
Yeah. See, they want to say yes.
I was talking about inside the control room.
And the one point I want to make, it isn't just us.
Yeah.
There are, when we have our weekly meetings, there's 20 plus, is that about right? Mm-hmm. 20 plus people all coming up with these ideas. And their ideas get on TV as much as ours do. So
Drew,
every voice on this show matters just the same. A 22-year-old production assistant that just graduated has the same merit in our meetings as someone that's been on the show since year 1.
That's so, Drew, I mean, I'm just curious, who calls the shots? Like, who's saying, like, take camera 2, or do you just take it?
Me.
You do?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And does Rob yell? Is he a yeller in the control room?
Constantly.
Yeah, because he seems like such a nice guy, but...
No, Rob doesn't yell that much.
Who is the yeller? Are you the yeller?
I don't think the yellers aren't with us anymore. Right? Look at Chris.
Chris,
like
do you want to chime in?
Yeah, we moved on.
Does anybody, I'm just teasing but it's so fun. I mean, it is like stressful. There's nothing like being on live television.
No.
And the camaraderie, but also the stress, and it can get to be kind of spicy sometimes. Can it not, Chris?
Spicy is a good word. That's I think people would be surprised at what happens in between a play. So Michael called the play, and basically I look like an airplane pilot over there. I have about 7 monitors watching every different sort of thing, and I know Rob does and Drew does in the truck as well. But by the time when Mike finishes talking, I have about 3 or 4 seconds to tell Rob what I saw. So I hit your favorite talkback button.
There you go.
I tell him what I saw. He has the ultimate veto power, so he can put on anything that he wants. And so he may go, no, let's go to the end zone. No. And so then he'll roll a replay, and then I just sort of follow along with him. But the entire process of that takes about 10 seconds. And then, oh, by the way, if Mike says something, I've got to be listening in my whatever third ear over there to what he's saying. And a lot of times, no matter what it is, the best moments, like we prepare like crazy, like it's a final exam every single week. We do everything we can. But you also realize, and Savannah, you know this better than anybody, the moments that people remember are generally the live, off the cuff, things that silly, funny happen, whatever the case may be. But there's another component in my mind that wasn't there when I started doing this. And that is just being careful. Sometimes making jokes on the air, you better pick that ball up and turn it upside down and think about it that way because right, you can say something that you wouldn't have in a million years thought of as being offensive, and all of a sudden you're trending, baby. You're out there. You got a problem. And I've been there a few times. The good people at NBC generally let me know when I have to apologize very quickly. And so I have to jump on that as fast as I can.
Trust me, I know. I feel I live that drama every morning. And it's so interesting because to do our jobs, you want to say something interesting and hopefully witty and fun or warm or, genuine. But you have to think in a split second through all of the ramifications of everything. But we wouldn't be doing our jobs if we just said bland things that were unremarkable. So I certainly can sympathize and I understand what you're saying.
Everyone wants to be trending until you're trending.
Yeah, it's trending for good reason. So Melissa and Mike, tell me, you guys, I think you all are in these meetings, but you go, Melissa, and you meet with some of the players and the coaches. That's pretty cool. And do they give like an audience just to your team because you're the broadcaster?
Yes.
Can you bring us into
So yes. So for example, tomorrow we'll meet with the Jets. We'll meet the head coach. We always meet with the quarterback, a star offensive player, a star defensive player, and then we go to practice. But on our own, individually, I'll reach out to my own players or some former Hall of Famers, and he'll talk to coordinators and different people, and Cris will do the same. And so we're all doing sort of our own things, but that's our one big kind of group time to get, and they're really honest. They really, you guys can speak to this. You sit down with an Aaron Rodgers in those meetings, it's completely different because they're used to 10 cameras in their face in a locker room and they give sort of generic answers or the answers that you're used to hearing. We sit down and we really have a conversation with them because for us it's, the storylines and we're looking for the storylines.
What are the ground rules? Is it off the record or can you use it?
It's usually on the record. Sometimes it'll be off the record.
Yeah.
Look at Cris, we can laugh. There's a gray area every once in a while where you want to make sure, okay, was that on the record or off the record? But Cris, I'll bring you in on this. For example, the Patriots were on Sunday Night Football at least 3 times a year. So you probably did 40, 45 meetings with Tom Brady over the years. And wouldn't you say it becomes a relationship of trust over that time that we're both able to kind of forge with these guys?
Now, did you seriously bring up Tom Brady for me to tell the story of the incident?
No.
Wait, this sounds good. Yes. Yeah, tell it, Cris.
I'll tell you.
Tell it. Sounds good.
So we never knew that, right? So apparently the people, I'm just going to say people in New England, told Tom very early in the process that, hey, all this is just background material, that, none of this is on the record, none of, blah, blah, blah. And so Tom was great. He was one of our favorite people to ever interview because he came in and he was, just completely open and honest and say all this stuff. But nobody ever told us that everything that we said was supposedly off the record. Nobody had any idea of that. And so there was a game in which Tom said something that was interesting, It was an interesting comment. And we put it on the air. And I mean, we spent the rest of that season chasing our tails, trying to make up for the fact that somebody had told Tom that everything he said to us in that meeting was off the record, but he never told us. So it's the worst of feelings. I don't know, Savannah, you're perfect. I mean, look at you, you're perfect. So you probably never make any mistakes. You probably never do anything wrong. I feel like I spend half my life apologizing. Now, having been married for 30 something years, I've gotten really good at it. Nobody can apologize better than I can. So, and I'm the team apologist. So if something goes wrong, then they just throw me out there, and then I do that. I'm good at that.
I love that. Cris, you're the best. Let's talk a little bit about the game on Sunday night. Okay, so let's start with you, Tirico. Wait, this is a question for Cris. Cris, let's go back to you. They told me to ask you this specifically, so you know it's going to be good.
There you go.
Kansas City, the Jets' Sunday night opponent, is led by one of the most exciting football players and athletes, Patrick Mahomes, which I knew. But what makes Mahomes? Yeah.
Oh, God.
At least I knew that one.
There is nothing better than when Savannah does a rip of sports on the Today Show.
Oh, God, it's
I will
hilarious.
text you
I know.
in between the 7 and the 7:30 half hour. Savannah Sportscaster.
Yeah, watch
nothing
out.
like it.
Well, the only sport I know is tennis, and when we did the opening ceremony, Rob Hyland would be like, "Stop talking about tennis." It's my only sport. Okay, but Mahomes I did know, but honestly, Mahomes is really a once-in-a-generation kind of player. So, Cris, what do you think's so special about him?
Well, one day I'm coming in on the Today Show, and I'm going to ask you. Now, I understand there's an election of some kind, and there's people, right? There's a Donald somebody and a Joe somebody. Can you let me know? Patrick Mahomes.
Please do.
He's kind of famous. Although I've got to say, Mike, in the history of football, has there ever been a time in which he's the second most famous guy in the building?
Yeah.
Exactly. Right?
It's unbelievable, right?
Yep.
I mean, this weekend, my daughter, who she watches our opening on camera so she can make fun of whatever it was that I wore, and then she's out, right? She is so fired up. She and her friend have a circle of friends that now have given me one-liners that I'm supposed to work into the entire broadcast, and they're going to have a drinking game or something on this whole thing. So,
Oh, God, what a long weekend this is going to be.
Yeah.
Well, you all should wear your bracelets.
But yeah,
What?
Patrick
I know you're going
Mahomes-
to make Mike a new one.
I'm going to make Mike a new bracelet. Cris, I have yours. It says SNF Swifty. When I put little hearts on I really made them for you.
But the thing is, it's
And
up
you
to
should
Drew.
flash it.
It's up to Drew how many times we see her. So that's the big question.
Well, Drew, actually, that's a really good question because.
Bring it on.
So if you ask, are you ready for it? Yeah, are you ready for it? You're going to have to be quite delicate about it, right? I can do this all day. That's a Taylor song. Wait, but Drew, seriously, because part of the audience hopes you just lock down the shot of Taylor and don't show me the game. But then there are a lot of football fans and just regular people who will be like, stop it already. Stop showing us pictures of Taylor. So how do you kind of thread that?
I would say this. If the Vegas line is 22 shots of Taylor,
Yes.
bet the under.
Okay.
And you'll be fine. No, I mean, we're just, we're still in the process of this. Is she definitely going to be at the game?
I thought it was confirmed.
Nothing's confirmed.
Until it's not.
Where's she going to sit? Are they going to tell us if she's sitting here, what's the shot going to look like? So there's a lot of stuff, Savannah, still up in the air. And it'll just, we'll have to figure it out over the next 72 hours
It's
or
hard
so.
for Drew to find where people are a lot of times. You'd think it'd be easy.
Like most people, we just mark where they are.
Yeah.
So if, Roger Goodell is here, we put an RG, or
Right.
home coaches, HC. We will not going to put a TS out there anywhere.
When you see a bunch of tweens fainting in a circle, you'll
Yeah.
know that
You'll know
Taylor
Is in that
is
in that
near in
vicinity.
that vicinity.
Okay.
That will be your.
Look, it's you know what? We still got to cover a game.
I know.
Still got to cover a game.
Yeah, you do.
So disappointing, right?
Yes,
Yeah. You seem so bummed now.
Yeah, no. I'm very excited. I love football, as y'all know. I know about Patrick Mahomes and everything. Okay, so let's do some Jets storylines. Melissa, I know that Aaron Rodgers was injured. That's
Yes.
a real big fat bummer for the Jets.
Big bummer.
Zach Wilson.
Yes.
Backup quarterback. See what I knew?
Yeah.
See?
Wow,
This is great.
this is
I know.
awesome.
So is that the big storyline?
That's the big
still for the
storyline.
Jets? Okay.
Yeah, Joe Namath came out this week and was critical of him. It's just the
Wait,
offense.
who was Joe Namath critical of?
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Rude.
Yeah. So
But he has he's Joe Namath.
he can.
He
No,
can say
but
whatever
I
he
mean,
wants.
I know.
But it hurt. It doesn't help, right?
Doesn't help. How's that going to help?
Cause.
Yeah.
But so definitely the Jets' offense is under scrutiny, and that's another Aaron Rodgers we're hearing is probably going to be at the game as well.
Okay. Well, because Taylor is going to be there.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You know what? This could be a big new storyline.
Yes, it all exactly.
Aaron and Taylor.
All roads lead. Yeah. Mike? So how do you? Because look, if I know the storyline, that means it's a pretty well-traveled storyline
Right.
in football. How much are you trying to uncover new storylines, new aspects, but also not? You don't want to be. You want to be approachable and accessible to people that don't have the level of knowledge that all of you clearly do have.
It's Rob's line. Do you want to say it?
It's a broadcast, not a narrowcast.
So that has to be the approach, right? The whole key in any bit of speaking, communicating, is know your audience.
Yeah.
Well, the audience is very varied, more on a Sunday night, regular Sunday night, than it would be for Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock, let's say, and multiply that 4, 5, 6-fold this week. So you've got to find a balance. You're not going to make everybody happy. Your daughter wants to see Taylor Swift all the time, right? Football fans are going to say, enough. I don't want to see her anymore. I want to see the game. It's got my fantasy football game is coming down to the players on the team here, and it's money in my pocket. I don't want to see her on my screen. There's got to be a balance. So you strike the balance. And where do we find the unique of these storylines? Those meetings we were talking about.
Yeah.
When we're in those meetings, because we've all done this for quite some time, we have great relationships with these players. What we study, what we read during the week, what Cris looks at video and film during the week and analyzes, we try to find something new and something different. And to Chris's credit, he's done this for more than, I don't know, how many years now?
33
32?
or 4. We had our back to school picture.
Yeah, 32, 33 years. He comes up, what I admire the most about Cris is he comes up with something unique and creative for a story that we've told over and over and over. And we'll find something new to bring to the people at home about a player or about how he plays. And that just kind of really drives all of us, I think, inspirationally to find the angle that's going to keep you entertained. And when you wake up Monday and you're talking to your friend about the game, say, hey, did you see this thing? We never noticed that before. So that's what we try to do.
It is kind of amazing that things like the draft that would be maybe some industry trade paper would have written about now is this entertainment, something people watch,
and
destination television.
And worth millions of dollars to the cities that host. I live in the Detroit area, and I'm involved with the sports commission there that helps try to bring big events to town. The draft is in Detroit this coming April, and that was 3 or 4 years, city fathers, people working on behind the scenes, the financing of it, to attract it because it's going to bring many people and millions of dollars of economic impact, and nothing happens. There's no clock, there's no ball, there's no game, there's nothing. Guys walk across the stage, and that's it. But it's a festival to celebrate. And Cris will chime in on this. The NFL, you can touch the NFL as an individual, unlike other sports. I mentioned fantasy football. You can own your fantasy football team. Cris, the betting aspect, right? How that involves so many people financially and emotionally on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I'm a little upset already. I already bet the over on 22 Taylor Swift. I'm sitting here, I'm trying to figure out if I say.
I'm betting the
Taylor
over on
Swift-
Melissa's 22 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but if I say Taylor Swift, does Drew have to go? You know, what if I say popcorn machine? You know, does he have to then go try and find Taylor? So I'm working for the people out there. I know the people that see more Taylor,
There you go.
more popcorn machines. I think we've got to have a long talk with Drew before we go into this
We do.
game.
My man.
Yeah.
You're the man. Another Taylor lyric. You're
Do people
welcome.
know she came out in the popcorn machine from the game?
Oh, no. Oh, that's what people think.
Yeah, they think she was inside the metal container of the popcorn machine.
Yeah.
That's how she got out.
Yeah. It could
Last
be.
week.
Yeah.
Makes
we have
sense,
a couple
right?
of, I mean, what? Obviously, that's how you travel. Okay. couple of audience questions. We have Catherine Meany. She's a member of the Paley Center, and she's asking which head coach or coordinator has weaponized their scheme and roster the best so far this season. Good question.
Wow.
That's not, I think we go to Chris on that one.
The expert.
Mike McDaniel.
I know we're all going to say the
Mike
same.
McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins, they scored 70 the other. I didn't even know you could score 70. That was unbelievable. So it's amazing to see these great coaches sitting there and just looking befuddled on the sideline, watching the other team go up and down the field in a way in which we've never seen. 2 running backs scores 4 touchdowns in the game each, and so it's a great sport. In that, who's the most important person in the game? Is it the quarterback? Is it the head coach? Is it the general manager? Is it, the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator? But it's this intellectual exercise, and I don't apologize for saying that. It really and truly is, in which everybody's cramming year-round to try and outdo the other people in their division and in their conference and have a chance. So it's an incredible game. I know everybody has their own opinion. To me, it's not even close. There's not another game in the world that comes close to the number of people that have to contribute and have a chance to win as the National Football League and football in general.
Oh, well, we're all fans here.
To Chris's point, when you sit up where we get to sit 50-yard line every game and get to look out the window, Melissa's on the sideline. These guys are in the truck watching all the screens. We get to sit right at midfield. We've got the best seat every week. You do step back every once in a while. You have so many people independently doing their thing. Players coming in, players coming out, and it almost always works. And it is really remarkable to think about how much it goes into the planning, the preparation to execute one play to this nuanced point, and then you move on to the next one. That happens repeatedly about 140 times during the game. It is really, to Chris's point, underrated how smart the people in football are and how they execute on the fly with somebody pushing you, trying to knock you over or take your legs out.
I would say the same about your incredible broadcast, other than the people pushing and shoving. You guys also are executing an incredible piece of broadcasting, and you're such professionals, and I hope people have gotten a flavor of what it takes to put on something that we all love and is fun for us, and it's fun for you too, but it's a heck of a lot of hard work, and you guys are at the top of your game. Stephen Rosina is a patron of the Paley Center. Thank you. He asks, in light of the quarterback situation with the New York Jets, what can be done to unify the team and keep the distractions of the media and former players, as well as the role of Aaron Rodgers to a minimum? We kind of talked about this with Joe Namath, but what do you say about that?
You guys feel like you guys want to chime in?
I think Chris should kick it off.
Okay.
This is why we have Chris.
Yeah.
When it's a really sticky question, would you say Chris?
Yeah, Chris.
And then he apologizes, and we're good.
And we're all clean.
It's fine.
Thank God Chris is here.
Figured that out. That's good. It's interesting that you can win a football game a lot of different ways. Like the game last week, the New York Jets blew a coverage on defense. They just flat out blew a coverage. And if they had not, then they could have well won that game. They gave up one long touchdown. Now, their defense is phenomenal, and it's going to be great this week to see how they play against, what's his name, that guy, Patrick Mahomes, and to see how that all goes. But this is going to be either a really compelling game in which the defense is beginning to unsettle one of the great offenses and one of the great coaches and one of the great quarterbacks in the National Football League and in National Football League history, or it's going to be completely not, and nobody's going to be able to handle Patrick Mahomes in this offense, and then Drew's going to look for Taylor. I don't know which way it's going to go, but it's definitely one of those two ways.
Well, we end as we started with Taylor. I want to say thank you to all of you. I know you have a lot of work to do. I want you to know that not only did I make you the bracelets, my daughter made you a playlist. It's called SNF Tay Slay, and I will send it to you a little later. Okay, so we'll do a play out song. Thank you so much. Can we give a round of applause? Thank you all. Thank you, our incredible group.